Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be trying out Haus Laboratories makeup. I'm really excited to be creating this look for you guys. I think this is more of like a natural, neutral, kind of like soft glam makeup. So I really love Lady Gaga. I think that she is an amazing woman, an amazing artist, and I really definitely wanted to be able to support her brand. So right away, when they were announcing pre-orders, I went ahead and ordered this box. I did end up getting this kit, and it came in, you guys, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that with this lighting, but it's like a kind of like plastic case that has this really cool, like almost like tinsel inside of it, and it says Haus on the front, and inside were the products. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the prices on everything just so that I can talk to you about that as we go. The kit that I got was the Haus of Goddess collection, and this has one of the what they call liquid shimmer powders, which is that liquid eyeshadow, and then one lip liner, and then one lip gloss. So it looks like this is one of their best sellers, which doesn't surprise me. It's going to be like your more like natural, kind of like everyday wearable colors, I guess. And it was $49, and it says it's a $64 value. So you must get a little bit of a discount for going ahead with the bundle. And when I talk about these items, I will go ahead and place up the price of each so that you guys will be able to see. I definitely had a hard time picking out what I wanted because there were a couple collections that I thought would be good, but what I ended up getting was the eye shadow in Aphrodite, and I will go ahead and swatch this for you guys. It's really like a very champagne-y kind of shade. So like check out this packaging. If you guys can see that, it's so sexy. Like it's matte black and it kind of ombres out into the clear. It actually reflects kind of like the outer box packaging, and it just has the Haus Laboratories logo. I love this like kind of like edgy point. It's just, like I said, it's like badass and beautiful at the same time. So if you guys can see this shade, it's almost like my skin tone, pretty darn close. So it's a very like neutral, like champagne shade, and it has a ton of silver micro glimmer in it, like micro glitter or shimmer. I did not realize that until I started putting it on my eyes, so you guys will see that as I go through. I actually thought it was going to be more like sheeny and not quite so sparkly. So but I think that it's not like super chunky glitter, so it's definitely like a more like glam glitter situation where it's something that you could, you know, almost, I mean, like without maybe quite as much like darkness to my eyes. I think that it would be very wearable for every day. So that is the liquid eyeshadow. Then we have the lip liner in the shade Myth, and this is really like a kind of, I guess I would say like neutral, maybe a little bit warm neutral lip liner. And then we have the Laureate lip gloss in Venus, and I do really like the applicator of this when I went through and was like pulling it out for the first time. It's got like that little like dip in the doe foot, so I think that it really hugs your lips really nicely and just applies the right amount of product. So also in the little kit came a card with a little message from Lady Gaga, and then also this little mirror. And this mirror, in all honesty, isn't great quality. Like it's not an actual glass mirror, but it's going to be great to just throw in your purse or into like your little makeup bag, and you don't have to worry about it shattering. So that might be something worth traveling with, but it's sort of a little distorted just because it's not an actual glass mirror. But I wanted to share with you guys what Lady Gaga wrote on this card because I thought it was pretty cool. So she said, "When I was young, I never felt beautiful, and as I struggled to find a sense of both inner and outer beauty, I discovered the power of makeup. I remember watching my mother put her makeup on every morning, basking in the glow of her power to put on her bravest face as the hard-working woman she was. I then began to experiment with makeup as a way to make my dreams of being as strong as my mother become true. It was then that I invented Lady Gaga. I found the superhero within me by looking in the mirror and seeing who I wanted to be. Sometimes beauty doesn't come naturally from within, but I'm so grateful that makeup inspired a bravery in me I didn't know I had. I've come to accept that I discovered my beauty by having the ability to invent myself and transform. They said I was weird, but really, I was just born this way. Love, Lady Gaga." So I really like that message. I think that there can be some shaming behind wearing makeup, and you know, it's like you can't do it right. Some people, you're wearing too much makeup, and some people it's like, oh, why don't you wear makeup? you should wear makeup. And I think that really it should just be do whatever the hell you want and do what makes you happy. So I really like this because it's, you know, Lady Gaga sort of talking about her connection to makeup. And I think especially if you're here on YouTube spending time watching videos about makeup, you also have a connection to makeup. I know I definitely do. So I thought that was a really great message for her to include. So anyway, that is the House of Goddess collection. So if you'd like to see this look created, then just keep watching. So I'm going to start off using some powder shadows before I add that liquid shadow in over the top. And I'm going to go through with the Too Faced Just Peachy. I'm going to start off with Peach Tea, which is just like a nice warm sandy shade, just to add a little bit of definition. This will almost be like a little bit of my crease color and transition. The color of that liquid shadow is really a pretty like nudie champagne, so I just wanted something that's like neutral to warm. I do so many like warm eye looks in the fall. I've already been doing like lots of like orangey, burgundy tones, and I think it'll be nice to have something that's more on the neutral side. I don't know how many of you guys out there are using cool tones. I'd have to imagine that we're going to kind of like start cycling back to that trend just because it really hasn't been something that we've seen. When I think back to like, when I first started doing like makeup, I would always wear like silver eyeshadow, like cooler tone eyes, and now I just can't see myself, like I really can't see myself putting on a silver eyeshadow. And then with a Sigma E25, just taking Peach Butter, which is like a matte, it's not the lightest matte, it's like the second to lightest matte, and just blending the edge of that. So then I just get a little bit of a base to start with, and I'm going to go through with that shadow now. I always like to, because I find if I do too much of a darker crease first and then I put a liquid shadow over the top, I end up needing to go over the top of the liquid shadow anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that down and we'll see how dramatic we decide to get. Okay, so now I've got that Aphrodite shade. Can you guys see how reflective that is? That's super pretty. And I'm going to lay this down and then go over the top with a synthetic blending brush. I probably should just be doing one eye at a time in case this dries really fast, but I'm a rebel. So I'm going over the top with the Luxie 213 eye shading. So this has little like micro shimmers in it. So it's almost like a nude champagne. Let me see if I can turn this down for you guys a little bit. There you go. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. So it's like a nudie champagne and it's got little micro glimmers in it. It's not as glittery as like a Stila Glistening Glow shadow, but it does have some nice reflective quality. I'm going to put another coat on, see if I can build it up a little bit. It's not tacky at all. It's not like sticky. Still really just feels creamy. So when it first goes on, before you blend it out, it looks ultra like glossy, but then it really kind of like goes into a shimmer when you blend it out. I mean, it's pretty. I probably would prefer it to have a little bit more of that metallic finish versus like a shimmery one. I guess it's a little bit more metallic with that second coat. It blends out really nicely though, like over that shadow. Got a little bit too much up in my inner crease up here, but that's okay. So you guys can see it's just got that nice like reflection to it. Super pretty. Like this would be, if you guys are interested in getting like a color that you could wear all the time, I even think that this is like daytime office appropriate. I guess it depends on what kind of office you work in. Everything for me is appropriate every day, but I really like it. It's very natural. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is just to let this dry a little bit. It's interesting because it has like a bit of like a cooling effect to it right now, but just to let the lid dry before I go over with some more powder shadows to add some dimension, I'm gonna work on my lower lash line a little bit. That way the top won't like grab a bunch of shadow because it's still damp. Okay, so I'm taking Just Ripe, which is like I guess I would say almost like plummy red brown. It's definitely like a reddy brown, but still fairly neutral. And just work that underneath the lash line. This is a Crown C513 brush. This pencil brush is so ancient, but I just grabbed it out of the set, grabbed it out of my little cup of brushes, and this is the one we got. So I just laid down the Just Ripe shade just to give it that little bit of dimension underneath. I will go back over the top with the deeper shade, but I really like a little bit of warmth underneath my eyes, closer to my eye, just because I think it brings out the color of my eyes. Like usually something that's either red or like a burgundy base, I just think makes my eyes look more green. So I really like that. So now I'm going to go through with Peach Tart, which is a nice medium brown on a Sigma E36. You guys know that I love this little brush. It's like the tiniest little blending brush. And I'm just going to start building some depth up in the corner. This will really let us know how shadow lays over the top of these creamy eyeshadows. So the glitter definitely still comes through, which I figured it may, but those sparkles will still show through underneath like a powder shadow. So if you are like wanting to have a really matte, non-glittery like outer V or something, I would really try to stay away from the areas that you don't want to see that sparkle. Like I'm not really one for sparkle anywhere else in my face, but I'll take all the sparkle on my eyes, so that doesn't bother me. But just so that you know. So that also means like if you don't want glitter up into your crease, you really need to keep this shadow lower when you go through to blend, because your like crease shades won't cover that up. Like that spot here where I got a little bit too much up into my crease, I thought I might be able to cover that up a little bit, but it won't. And I realized that using a tiny little blending brush like this takes a little bit longer, but I would rather do that than, because it gives me so much more control, especially if you have a small lid. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit more of that peach tea on this same blending brush and just go over the top seam of that color. I think this is really pretty. It's more natural than I thought it was going to be, so I don't know if some of the other shades are maybe a little bit more like pow. Obviously, I got the most natural shade that there was. I haven't watched any videos on any of these kits because I really wanted to just be able to come in without any sort of like preconceived notion of what the products were like. So I may have to watch like some swatching videos just to see what other colors there are, but I do like it. I mean, for me, if you're going to spend the money, like obviously this neutral shade is going to be something that I will wear a ton of. So I really like it. And I'm not one of those girls that wears neutrals all the time, but I think like a shade like this could go with so many different things. I'm going to go through with my pencil brush and we'll take a little bit of Chocolate Dipped, which is the darkest shade in the Too Faced palette, and just on the very outside edges. So now the question is to line the eyes or not to line the eyes. I'm just taking that small Sigma blending brush just to kind of like smoke all this out a little bit. Then I think I'm just going to do a really skinny black line. Now I know that after I got this kit, obviously HAUS Laboratories has come out with that liquid liner, and I don't have that one. It is a felt tip from what I can see, and I'm not really a felt tip girl. This Kat Von D liner has the brushes. Why am I talking while I'm using eyeliner? That's so dumb. So this one has the brush hairs. That's what I prefer. I don't know if I'll get that one. Do just because I know myself and felt tip. Well, of course, the skinny line became a not quite so skinny line. So still not too bad. We've still got one more eye to go though. Okay, eyeliner wasn't quite a tragedy. Not my biggest victory, but not a tragedy either. Okay guys, my camera overheated. So while I was waiting for it to cool down, I just threw on a couple coats of mascara on my top and bottom lashes. So all in all, I really do like that eyeshadow cream. Like I said, I do think it's a very natural, kind of like sparkly, but everyday wearable sparkly, depending on how much you like sparkle. I don't necessarily think that there's anything like mega special about it. I'm gonna have to go and see some of the other swatches of the eyeshadows just so that I can really kind of get a better opinion about it. But I do think I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this just because it's really such a wearable shade. I'm gonna be interested to see how those little like glitter particles or shimmer particles last and if they have fallout at all, because I think that'll be a big thing. Like I feel like a lot of powder shimmer shadows that look like this, either the shimmer doesn't stay and it kind of fades away throughout the day, or it ends up like falling onto your face. So that'll be the one thing with it being a cream formula. I would imagine that it has a little bit more staying power. And I did not use a primer today. Like I said earlier today, I just threw on my concealer and a little bit of translucent powder. So we'll go ahead and move on to the lips, which I'm really excited about. But first we're gonna take a sip of tea. So this is day 5 of being caffeine free. I'm doing a Whole30 this month, and I decided that it would be a good time to cut out caffeine for the month. I am very much an overuser of coffee, and so I'm hoping that this will just kind of like get my mindset back to being like ready to have like 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day. So I'm just having my decaf herbal tea. All right, so now that we are hydrated, we can go ahead and go through with our lip color. So I had the Bite Agave lip balm on my lips, and I just blotted off any excess that was on there. We'll go ahead and line our lips first. So I just think that this packaging is so cool. I'm honestly not normally a huge fan of like wooden lip liners. I do think that the Bite Beauty ones were really nice, but I saw that Sephora's been really clearancing those out. So I don't know if they're just not carrying them anymore, if Bite discontinued them. But this is the RIP or RIP lip liner in the shade Myth. All right, so already I feel like these are really creamy. That is like a really, really creamy lip liner. You could definitely use this as like your whole lip color. So there's the lip liner all on its own. It is super creamy. Like does transfer just a little bit, but that's not to be surprised by such a really creamy lip liner. So now we have our lip gloss, and this is the shade Venus. So I'm really excited. I didn't really necessarily need another lip gloss, but I'm pretty sure that this will be one that I use. So this is very interesting. It almost has like a huggable, like doe foot applicator. Like it's got that little curve, which I bet is gonna just very exactly go right along your lip line. So this feels really comfortable. It's very creamy, a little on the thicker side, but not in a bad way. I'm probably going to enjoy this lip gloss without the lip pencil. I mean, the combo looks great, like, but it's just like warmer than I would normally wear. And I don't know, it's a really like flattering, warm nude. I guess I've just been steering more towards like pinks lately, but this is going to be great, like a great nude for fall, which, hello, it's fall now, so I should just get ready for it. So I think it's really pretty. I'm going to be really interested to try the lip gloss on its own, just to see how the shade looks like on my own natural lip. I just want to try it on its own once to see. I almost want to do that. Like, I'm really tempted to do that. I tell you what I'll do. I'll probably, at the very end of this, insert a clip of just the lip gloss. I'll probably just wipe it all off and wear the lip gloss on its own so you guys can see what that looks like. all in all, my final thoughts, I mean, I think it's fun. I think that these are all pretty high quality products. I don't have any complaints yet. It's just going to be interesting to see how they wear. Of course, I went with like neutral basic shades. I'm sure that there will be some fun colors at some point to try out. I think that there was like a blue, but I'm just not a super huge like blue wearer. So I'm be interested to see how I use this over the next couple weeks. And like I said, I'll keep you guys updated. Also, I know that I started with most of my full face today, but I did use a combination of a lot of the cream products actually that I used in my best of creams video. And if you haven't seen any of those, you can check out all the details in that video. So thanks for hanging out with me, getting to play with the brand new makeup from HAUS Laboratories. I think it's going to be great to see what Lady Gaga as a creator comes out with. As far as I can see, it's all going to be great quality products, so I'm looking forward to the future of that. Hope you guys enjoyed today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd love to see you around, and I'll see you really soon.